Hello, adventurers. Are you ready for a mysterious trip to the South Pacific? Please join me. Let's go. Call of the Sea. I recorded this footage on my PS4 Pro. I hope you had the time to watch my introductory video about puzzle games and Call of the Sea in particular, as well as The Last Campfire. Before I can start the game, I will need to go through the options, and there's actually something interesting there I want to show you. So going into the options, we find the usual array, and I obviously always adjust audio and graphics, etc. for especially for recording. Subtitles need to be on, but accessibility is the really interesting one. Now you can adjust the handwritten font inside the journal. I think that's excellent. But the thing that really got my thumbs up is the photosensitivity protection. That is just amazing, and for someone like me who's recently had a severe problem with photosensitivity issues, this is a godsend, honestly. I wish more developers would do that. Just not having strobing and flashing effects, or reduced at least, would be immensely helpful. So we're about ready with the options, and we can finally start the adventure.
What was that? What are those voices?
Those strange words meant nothing to me in the beginning. It was only later I realized that they have relevance if you're familiar with Lovecraft.
Where am I?
Straight away we are immersed in a very mysterious atmosphere underwater. You notice straight away that the game is first person, and we only have the hands in front of us to operate with.
I know this place. I've been here before.
It's almost like a dreamlike sequence.
I've been here my entire life. I'm trapped in here.
The colours are just astonishing and beautiful in this game, I think.
These stairs. I'm climbing these stairs again. My old music box. It's broken. I have to fix my old music box. I have to get it. I have to... Those horrible dreams again. I've had them repeatedly ever since my mother died and left me that music box in her will. Harry always said that old family heirloom had something to do with my family's strange disease. If the doctors won't give us an answer about your illness, I'll search for one myself, you said. And in that search, Seems you lost yourself. I don't think I'd ever...
Pardon me, madam, but the island is in sight. We'll be lowering the boat in just a minute.
Oh, thank you so much, Captain Hodgson. I'll be right out. All right, time to gather my things.
And that is clearly our cue to look at items in the cabin and take with us what we need.
I'd always dreamed of traveling. It was not the same without you, Harry.
And you will, of course, recognize this ticket from the Norah's Diary edition, the replica, if you watched the previous video about puzzle games. You can also see how you have to bend down to really get close to an object to be able to interact with it.
I'm definitely going to miss this bed. Falling asleep to the ship's rocking was delightful.
Oh, Norah, you're gonna miss more than just that bed.
It's not exactly a clawfoot tub, but you can't always get what you want. It's a relief that I don't need it to walk anymore. What was I thinking when I brought all these dresses on this trip?
You will find yourself looking at a lot of objects, bending down, as I said, to see if you can get some information, can interact, but it may not always be the case. You need to get up close and personal to find out. The desk is clearly where the action is, with lots of items, and you can see the cursor showing interaction available, like with the radio.
I love this song. I received a mysterious package at my house. I stored all its contents in my locked suitcase.
The detail in this game is wonderful. It contributes so much flavour and it helps build the whole world around you.
I'd better cover up my hands before I leave the cabin. I wouldn't want anyone thinking I'm a circus freak. Ah, the amazing adventures of Norah Everhart, art teacher.
And here is the all-important journal. I cannot emphasize enough how crucial it is for your gameplay. It holds a lot of extra information, as well as clues and everything else. Here you see the whole backstory, starting July the 6th, 1934, and it makes for quite a fascinating read. To understand the importance of some of the clues, it's probably a good idea to read it. For example, on October the 10th, Norah receives some strange items, and they're itemized here. Once again, if you need to look up something, it's all here. On October the 19th, Norah writes, "First I'll sail to Tahiti on an ocean liner. If I don't find Harry there, I'll have to find a ship that will take me to whatever is 74 nautical miles east of Tahiti. This isn't going to be easy or cheap either." She writes on November the 1st, after having arrived in Tahiti, "About that place 74 miles east of Tahiti. Some locals have mentioned an island, but they won't say anything else about it. It's like they think the place is cursed. I met an English sailor, Captain Hodgson. He knew some of the crew members on the Lady Shannon, a whaler. Apparently the ship took an American expedition to an island east of Tahiti. According to Hodgson, it's been months since he last saw the Lady Shannon or its crew. November the 4th. After 3 days of begging, I've managed to convince Captain Hodgson to take me close to the island. And here is our first important clue, a photo with the number 506. So, it's time to put our first little clue to work.
Oh my, I have the worst memory. I forgot the combination again. Thank goodness I always bring my journal with me to write things down. All right, now it's open. This strange and sharp relic came in the package I received at home. I saw this island in one of my unsettling dreams. I drew it as soon as I woke up. Harry Everhart, my husband, my partner, and my dear old pal. A brass key with the letters CW engraved on it, and some enigmatic instructions.
We're all set, madam. The motorboat is ready.
I think I've overpacked. Okay, Norah. From here on out, you're on your own.
And so Norah says goodbye to the safety of the cabin, and it's on into the unknown.
Lower the motorboat and be careful with Mrs. Everhart's equipment, lads. We'll be back to pick you up in 3 days. I really hope you find your husband there, madam.
I hope it too. I'll see you in 3 days then.
But please be careful on that island. You know what the legends say about it.
I'll take care. Thank you, Captain Hodgson. Well, here I am, in the middle of the ocean after traveling across half the world. Just miles away from where my husband is supposed to be. You left a year ago to search for a cure for my affliction. Your letters kept me close to you, but suddenly they stopped coming. What happened, old pal? What did you find? Whatever it was, it led you to hire a crew and set sail from San Francisco to Tahiti. And from there to this place, an island in the middle of the Pacific that the locals refuse to even name. Everything is familiar. So familiar. As impossible as that may sound. Is this the island I dreamed about? This can't be a coincidence. A breathtaking, idyllic island, surrounded by deadly reefs and protected with stakes to keep anybody from entering. Why? There's definitely something strange about this place. Okay, Harry. Let's see if I can find any trace of you around here.
I hope you have been soaking up the atmosphere and the vistas as we approached the island in our boat. And here you see the narrow channel and what looks like gigantic pencils. But we know they are stakes to deter people with big boats. And before we start our trek and exploration, I just want to quickly show you straight away one of the island's typical totems. We'll be investigating a lot of those.
I feel quite good. I dare say I might even walk a little faster than usual.
Because I'd played the game before, I knew to come down this little track to have a look at the view.
Those markings seem to represent the sea. I'll make a note of them in my journal. It might come in handy.
And here you see how everything gets logged in the journal, a record of the icons you discover, which we later find form a language, and of course the story log as well. And we return to the beach. There's a little bit of backtracking involved sometimes. And here you can see we have on one side of the beach a palisade that is actually closed. And here's the path into the interior of the island. So we'll start out here and have a look at some of the totems and other landmarks along the way.
These wooden figures are called unu. This seems to be telling a story.
We're just going over there to the other unu you can see, slightly elevated. And there are a couple of items there that look promising, but oh yes, I doubled back and had another look. There is something in that bowl.
A bonefish hook.
And it looks exactly like the type of a fish hook that Māori would have carved for fishing here in New Zealand. So I have to say the research in this game is excellent. This unu seems to be missing some icons on it. And on we go. Here's a quick view, by the way, of some more forbidding-looking weaponry-type items staked there.
It may look peaceful, but clearly somebody wants to keep outsiders off this island. From what I've read, the Polynesians don't need doors. So why build such a big one? Something's missing here.
If in doubt, consult the journal. And we see the mechanism is missing its cover.
Well, that did something.
So off we go to try and locate the missing cover to get the mechanism to work. Along the way, my eye is caught by some other stuff lying around. There is so much stuff here, it's just amazing. And sure enough, there's something we can investigate a little bit.
A carving tool. This box. CW. Those are the initials on the brass key. It opens it. So whoever sent me this key was here.
And look what we found. It looks very much like a clue to me. Very useful.
This is starting to look like a scavenger hunt.
So we go further back down the path, keeping an eye out left and right, and yep, it's interesting what you don't spot going one way but going back the other.
What a lovely flower offering.
And the flowers here seem to lead us to the spot we recognise.
Well, look what's hidden here.
That this is the clue as shown in the drawing. So this is a good example of how really straightforward the game is with its clues in the beginning.
It works. This may be the first time I trespass a private property. My childhood in Newburyport wasn't exactly the most thrilling thing.
To the left, coming up here, there's a gigantic puzzle there, a major one. So we'll first explore all the other stuff. Once again, patient fossicking pays off. Don't walk past anything in this game.
Is that Harry? Harry, you were here! You were here and I found you, damn it. Where are you now? Where is everybody? Where did you and all your crew go? Lady Shannon? That name sounds familiar. I'd better check my journal.
Actually, not much was added to the journal. The log has been updated and a few more details fleshed out. So we continue with the exploration down another path.
It's been years since I took such a long walk. This fresh air is doing me wonders.
So let's take the other path and explore further. The graphics. The game looks stunning, I think, but the graphics are not overly complex. They're not striving for ultra-realism. The polygons are actually pretty simple a lot of the time, but they've been very clever about them. The overall effect is of a very lush landscape.
What a beautiful mountainous landscape.
I always feel a bit slower moving in first person than I do in third person. It just feels a little bit more cumbersome. The same applies to inspecting objects. I don't know if that's just me. If you look closely, there's actually very slight movement of foliage.
can feel the air is denser here in this mangrove swamp.
I just want to mention the voice acting. I think the decision to bring well-known actors on board really paid off, helping to make the story come alive.
Rays of sunlight shining through. Another symbol.
What can it be? Our journal tells us. It's the sun. Once again, if you watch closely, the environment is not static. Water is moving all the time. I loved just spending time on this island.
Now that I've crossed half the world, I wouldn't mind crossing the other half. But I have to do it with you, old pal. This sort of pond is a Polynesian fishing technique. There's another symbol inside it.
And we know this one already. It's the fin symbol for fish, which we will need for solving the puzzle. This mangrove swamp can be confusing, and without a map I found it sometimes quite difficult, but here we are going to a new area.
Oh my, this is so beautiful. What were these birds called? Lorikeets. Cole's lorikeets.
This is undoubtedly one of those magical moments. I was a bit nervous the first time I saw all these totems. I thought, do they form a huge puzzle that we need to solve? I was a bit bereft. Fortunately, no. But now that I'm playing it the second time, I know that there's a secret little place here for an extra viewpoint, one of those little collectible things that I'm hunting down.
This looks like cargo from an earlier voyage, long before Harry's expedition.
But we need to inspect one of the totems for a clue before we leave this tranquil haven.
There are lorikeet feathers scattered around this unu. I'll draw the symbol in my journal.
And here we are, the bird wing symbol. And this lorikeet came just to say goodbye. And we know these contraptions by now.
A shortcut. That's convenient.
And we find ourselves back on the beach. Please note our boat there. Just saying. So now we're ready to go back up into the interior and do the main puzzle that gives us access to Chapter 2.
Harry said that he would go to the end of the world to find a cure, and by the looks of it, he wasn't lying. We promised we'd never lie to each other from the moment we started dating. no matter how harsh the truth.
Remember how I said earlier that up here on the left is the main puzzle? As you can see, it's got rotating cylinders, and 5 of them, and a red push button. So we check our journal for the 5 symbols we need, and then try and arrange them in order on the cylinders.
This reminds me of those slot machines that Harry and I saw at the Atlantic City Pier, but a Polynesian version.
It's incredibly straightforward. The sun symbol goes right at the top. The second cylinder has the bird wings in the sky. The third cylinder stays as it is, it's the mountain tops. The fourth one, you need to find the waves, and the last one is the fish in the ocean. And there we are, the fins. I'm just checking everything before I push the big button.
Well, I guess I hit the jackpot. That's my ticket across the river then.
Now, instead of crossing the bridge, I am running all the way back to the beach, and I'll show you why. I asked you earlier to note that the boat was still there, but look at it now. This is something you can easily miss. It's one of those missables.
The motorboat! It's gone! And I had my luggage in it. All my things gone. And the tide was so weak, it couldn't have carried the boat away. What happened here?
Norah is stranded without supplies on a beautiful island holding a deeply disguised secret. Checking the journal, and there's just one update about the bridge puzzle. So this is going to be our final inspection here in this area.
The tent. So somebody was on this island recently. A note written in French. I only understand 2 words, île and mort, island and death.
I will have a go with my school French here. Whoever reads these words, nous avons profané cette île. We have profaned this island pour n'y trouver que la mort. Only to find death. N'allez pas plus loin. Do not go any further.
It must be a warning about the dangers of the island. This machete is completely worn down. The blade is dull.
I had so hoped I'd be able to pull out and use that machete, but no such luck.
A miniature va'a, a Polynesian outrigger canoe. Beautifully crafted, too.
The detail on this Polynesian-style outrigger boat is again quite lovely and looks very authentic to me.
I know it's just resonance, but I do love listening to the sea in them.
And finally, we're taking the long trek the other way round this time, for the last time, to go to the bridge and cross over into unknown territory to discover new mysteries, solve some more puzzles. Inch ever closer to an answer to the question about Norah's mysterious, strange illness.
Steady now.
And here we go. A new chapter of our investigation begins.
How long have I been walking? I've lost track of the time.
I hope this has given you a good impression of the game's look, feel and style. From here on, the puzzles ramp up significantly in size and difficulty. Do let me know if you decide to give the game a try. Thank you for watching.